October is a month that we typically like to associate with scary shit in anticipation for Halloween. So naturally, in the spirit of Halloween, I decided to review Special For You, which is supposedly the first creepypasta themed Mario 64 ROM hack ever made. Which is great because I guess somebody had to do it, and it ain't gonna be me, cause I've got too much other stuff to do, like defending my home against those fucking clowns. But anyway, this is a special episode, not only because the game's called Special For You, but also because it's bringing together two of my favorite things, Mario 64 hacks and creepypasta. For those of you who don't know, I did read creepypasta on this channel in the past, but began favoring trollpastas more because that's what people seem to want, judging by the view count and whatnot. But I may yet start reading creepypastas once more. Hell, October's not over yet, so it'd actually be an appropriate time. But for now, let's just review this game. I must warn you though, this game is a convicted ear rapist. It likes ear rape. A lot. Sudden loud noises are totally on the table. In fact, it's the first thing you hear when you start the game.
It's me, Mario!
Yeah, what better way to start a scary game than to hear Mario scream his own name right in your ear? So when you select a file, it drops you in front of Peach's castle from the original. And if you look around, everything seems perfectly normal until you read the signs. They all say the same thing. We have to do something special for you. That would be very creepy if it weren't for the birds and the butterflies everywhere. So you enter the castle, and when you look around, you'll see that something is amiss, as the wooden doors from the original are replaced by star doors that you can't open. If you try, you get a really loud and distorted screaming sound. You know, too often do creepypasta games do this. Like Sonic.exe, you're just playing Sonic and then all of a sudden it just goes... Obviously, if you've never played a creepypasta game before, that might scare you a bit, but when you've played as many as I have, it's just annoying. So the only level you have access to is Bob-omb Battlefield, but instead of starting with the King Bob-omb mission, you have to race the Koopa. Now naturally, this guy's pretty easy, but when you get to the top, you'll find one of these switches. If you wait for the Koopa to show up after you, he gives you some dialogue that makes no sense, and then a star flies out of him that you can't get because it ends up beyond the boundaries of the world. I even tried getting it with wireframe mode and the moon jump code, but it couldn't be done. Obviously, the game wants you to hit the button. When you do, it locks you into this weird cage with an invisible cap switch and box. You're supposed to hit the switch and then get an invisibility cap to get out of there. And when you explore this area, you see that it looks similar in style to Bob-omb Battlefield, except you're just stuck in some strange canyon type area. This area is pretty strange to say the least. On the one end, it just ends with some strange invisible barrier. Over here, there's some weird platforms that serve no purpose whatsoever. And then there's this strange shadowy figure in the distance. What's the deal with him? Is he trying to be Slenderman or something? Sadly for him, the world isn't big enough for two of those assholes. Slenderman. There can be only one. It would make for a pretty creepy atmosphere if it weren't for the Bob-omb Battlefield music still playing in the background. Not to mention that this guy is actually just a retextured tree. Seriously, Mario can actually climb up and down him while green leaves fly out. It's a bit of a weird thing to see Mario climbing up and down some strange man who can't be identified, and it really wouldn't be a good message for the audience Nintendo tends to shoot for. Then again, I'm sure that even the most dipshit kid in the world knows better than to walk up to random people and start trying to climb them like a tree. Then you go over here and you get an invisibility hat which you use to walk through this gate. When you jump into the pipe here, it takes you to a caged basketball court. After looking around, you'll see that it almost looks like the same room, except it looks more like fall than summer. Anyway, you leave the basketball court and find that there's this really dark hallway to the left with a door at the end. Watch this, there's gonna be a screamer the second you open the door. Well, that was disappointing. But don't worry, I'll just make my own screamer. Like this. Now that's scary, right guys? Well anyway, you look around this place to find a couch with a TV and a desk with an invisible hat box. You get the invisibility cap and then you jump through this window here. Now, like a complete retard, when I first got here, I couldn't figure out what you were supposed to do, and I honestly thought this was the end. For some reason, it didn't occur to me for 10 minutes to try looking upwards. Of course, looking around. How stupid of me. Anyway, you jump through this window with the invisible cap, and then you find yourself in what appears to be a kid's bedroom. I like the little details here. This kid's got a Super Metroid poster, a Jurassic Park poster, and a Spalding basketball. You know, between the basketball here and the basketball court earlier, could this game be subliminally trying to sell me on basketball? Anyway, you go into the next room to find a bunch of unconscious and possibly dead little Koopas all lying in bed, which is pretty disturbing honestly. Then the one bed actually has bloody handprints all over it. Way to go. Now this is starting to feel like a genuinely scary game. Not to mention these posters here. Special for you. The next room isn't much of a room at all. It's just a dark hallway with a bunch of signs. My dear son, it's been a long time since I last saw you. Your mother won't understand my suffering nor the way I miss you. Every day without you, a part of me breaks away. We are many friends now. I won't stand any longer. I'm finishing this for good. Farewell. If only I could see you one last time. Okay, that's pretty fucked. My dear son, I'm watching from afar, and you noticed me. You also noticed that I don't like your friends at all. You're clever. To me, they're just a bunch of immoral dicks. We'll soon give them the fate they deserve. But you're different. I'm at your window now. You're just as beautiful as I remembered. My friends and I have agreed that you should stay this way. Forever. We have to do something special for you. Okay, this is weird. The next sign said, wait. Oh, shit. That's not good.
Game over.
Wait, that's game over? I had no lives the entire time? Well, that figures. Now, you may be wondering what happens now. Well, that's just the thing. That's it. Nothing else happens. That's the game. Now, this is actually pretty common for creepypasta games to be extremely short to the point they could be minutes long. So obviously, if you're expecting to play this game and get a grand scale Super Mario 64 ROM hack with 9 million new levels or whatever, you're in for a massive disappointment. But if you're just playing this game because you like these mini creepypasta games, then you might enjoy yourself. The atmosphere is actually fairly vivid near the end, and actually does have a genuinely creepy vibe to it. For curiosity's sake, I actually went back and used the moon jump code to jump over that death trap at the end so I could check out what the sign says. To my disappointment, it just says some random string of dialogue from the regular game that bears no consequence here at all. But at least I can check out what's through that door. I expected nothing less. But that's special for you. It's a Mario 64 hack that's not really driven by gameplay, but rather by atmosphere. In a way, it's not much of a game at all. It's better described as a story that you just need to jump through some hoops in order to get to the next chapter. Now, maybe it would have been nicer if the game was a bit longer, of course, because this is pretty short. But in the end, it's not like you have to pay for it or anything. So it's not terrible, but that's gonna be it for this review. If you enjoyed it, then please feel free to let me know. This has been another game review by Phantom Bane. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.